Look at the size of this one. Alright guys, so we are stuck here at the train tracks. We've been waiting here for maybe 15 minutes. Everybody that was in front of me have turned around, and I've not turned around yet because this is the only way to get to where I'm trying to go fish, which is Lake Leon. So let me show you guys on the map. I am really close. It says that I am 9 minutes away, expected to arrive around 2:17 p.m. So I'm probably not gonna start fishing until close to 3 p.m. and this is like midday now, and I'm kind of curious if I'm gonna be able to pull any fish out of here. It's gonna be a really hot one. It's probably about 90 degrees outside right now, but these train cars right here, they look like they are full of gravel, and I just want to take a look at this map in here and see what is going on here. So there appears to be some kind of mine here. Don't know what kind of mine it is, but it looks like some kind of mine, and that would make sense why there is train tracks and these train cars full of gravel. And you can see there's some little retention ponds right below here as well too. Now, I've thought about fishing these retention ponds from these mines, but I don't think it's really a good idea because all of this water is basically just runoff from these mining operations. And then if you look down here, this creek as well too, it's a bunch of runoff going into this creek. So I wouldn't really fish this stretch of water or even eat the fish out of here. But for fishing, I don't know, maybe it's off limits, so I'm not even gonna try to go down there. But yeah, let me talk about fuel economy while we're still waiting on this train to get out of the way. But we'll talk about fuel economy on this 6.6 liter gas engine with that 10-speed Allison transmission. So on here, my trip meter, I drove about 1,800 miles. This has been a mixture of highway and city driving. Maybe around like 85% highway and 15% city driving. And I'm averaging around 14.1 miles per gallon, which is not too bad considering that this is a big heavy duty truck. It has a gas engine. It doesn't have the diesel, so with the gas engine, I think I get pretty good gas mileage. And I know it's not gonna be in like the 20s with some other trucks, but I'm okay with that because this truck weighs over 7,000 pounds, and driving from my house to over here, it was maybe like an hour on the interstate, and the ride's comfortable for a big heavy truck like this, especially when you're on the interstate and it's windy. I don't feel that wind blow this truck side to side or anything. It's just solid, planted, firm, and no issues at all. And I guess I could drive the Frontier. I still have the Frontier, but the Frontier is a great, awesome truck. But I have this. I want a little more comfort. I'm gonna take this. My Frontier is still a good truck. Like, I still drive it around town and stuff, and it looks like we might be heading to our fishing spot here shortly. Take a look at these train cars. All right, these train cars, it is down to the last one. So as soon as this train car moves out of the way and they let us pass, I'm gonna turn this camera off, and then I'll see you guys once we get to our fishing location. All right, so we're almost done right here. Okay, hopefully it's not gonna go backwards. Sometimes they do something crazy where they'll go up here and then go backwards, and let's hope that's not the case, because I'm about ready to get out of this vehicle and start fishing. Alright, so are you going up? Alright, so that's the last of the train tracks are going up, so I'm putting this camera down and we are rolling. Welcome back to Garage Outdoors on Garage Matters. Alright, now after that intro, I can finally introduce where we are at. We are over at Lake Leon, and this is what the parking looks like. So a lot of gravel parking, even have spaces for RVs and campers to like pull up here and park as well and camp overnight. And we got the truck right here. Now I do like this place, super easy and accessible, extremely kid friendly. We got a couple kids down here at this dock over here, but I'm gonna start right here. I could park the vehicle right here, and I'm gonna go try down here. It doesn't look like there's any boulders around here except for one guy all the way over here, but nobody's using this ramp, so I'm probably just gonna fish along that grass line over there, come back around over here, and then probably skip down there, maybe go to that side, and then go back over there where I was fishing at last week. So I was here last week, and it was like an hour drive to get over here from where I live, and I didn't bring the proper bait last time, so I brought some worms and some hot dogs. Let me show you what I'll be using. So I did stop by Walmart to pick up these worms right here, and I do have my 5/6 ultralight rod. Got a bucket here as well, and then down in here I did bring 2 hot dogs, not for grilling but for fishing. And I thought the wind was gonna die down, but it looks like the wind is starting to pick back up. So when I left, it wasn't windy, but over here it looks like the wind's picked back up. So it looks like we are going to be casting into the wind, standing right here, and I really don't like doing that, but it looks like we are going to have to cast into the wind. And if I can't cast into the wind, I did bring this float as well. So this is weighted on one end, and it'll help me get my bait out into the wind where I'm trying to fish at around here. Alright guys, so I do see some fish in there trying to take my bait. I think this hot dog is just a little too big, so what I'm gonna do is probably take this hot dog off and put a worm and go weightless in here with the worm. I think, yeah, so this piece of hot dog is just too big. We're gonna go with a worm. So, see if we can pull something out of here. Oh, all right, got one. All right, guys, so we got one. This guy was on there, but he did not run at all. Take a look at this guy. This is a little, I think it's called a green sunfish. Now I've caught plenty of these now, and I think they're green sunfish, but I caught this guy right out of this little boat dock right here, and we're just gonna go ahead and get him released. I mean, just toss him back in the water right here. Right here. We're gonna just put him back in the water right here. All right, there he goes. All right, so this water seems like it's so warm that these fish don't even want to fight or run. So if you come out here with some worms, you can definitely catch some kind of fish out here. These fish are just, it's so hot, the water's so hot, they don't want to run, they don't want to fight. So unless you catch a big one, it's gonna seem like they're pretty lazy. Alright, got another one. Alright, so we're pulling out a lot of these little guys right here, so it is not bad, I guess. I'm just gonna throw this one back in the water, and then maybe cast it just a little bit farther out there. See if we can get something a little bigger if we cast a little bit farther out there. And I can barely tell when there's a fish on here because these fish are so small. I'm watching my float. I'm waiting for the float to go down, but it's not even going down. It's just a little twitch, and then the fish is on there. So you gotta watch your float ever so carefully and set the hook before they swallow the hook. But hopefully there's a big one in here. Alright guys, I don't know if this GoPro can capture it, but I was filming with my phone, and check this out guys. It is so hot that it is telling me my phone needs to cool down before I could use it. Now, I forgot to tell you guys the temperature, but today it is about 96 degrees out here today. I'm gonna let my float sit right here. I'm gonna go up to the truck and grab my water that I left in there. So hopefully, well, we'll probably not stay out here too long, but it is good that it is nice, and well, I guess it's a good thing that it's a little there's a slight breeze going on, so that's always good. But also some clouds rolling in as well too, so that should hopefully help keep us a little bit cooler while we're out here trying to catch some fish during midday. Alright, I think there's something on there. There's something on here. So it looked like a little guy. It's a small guy, but it's alright. Maybe not the biggest, but it's alright. We were just trying to get some fish in our bucket. Alright. And this water temperature down here. Oh my gosh. No. Missed them. We missed them. Alright, got another one. Alright, so kind of weird, guys. I had to take the float off in order to catch this one. And yeah, he's a good sized one. There are fish in here, but fishing with the float just somehow seems to scare these fish from not biting. And these fish are close enough to the shore where you can catch them without a sinker or a float. So I'm just gonna toss this guy back in the water. And then, yeah, so I'm not putting any of this fish in the bucket because this water is so warm. It's so warm. I'm just gonna catch and release, and then see if we can catch something else in here. But it seems like they are biting better without a float on. And if your line is light enough, and if your rod has enough finesse in it, you can definitely get your bait out there to where these fish are at. Alright, so we just pulled out another one. This is number 4. And what I'm doing is just fishing with no weight, no float. And as soon as I'm throwing this in there, I am catching these fish left and right. So I think I'm going to start my bucket count now, just to show you guys how quickly these fish are biting. So let me put my stuff here, grab some water for my bucket. Okay. Alright. There's my bucket count. So in here I have 1 fish so far. Alright, just like that, got another one. So as soon as you toss it in there, once you notice your line get tight, that usually means that there's a fish on there. So take a look at this guy. Beautiful little fish. And if I would have brought my larger rod, you can probably use this again to catch a bass or a catfish, if there's catfish in here, rig them up and toss them back in there. Alright. Okay, there we go. Ooh, bigger one. There are some bigger ones in here. Take a look at this one. This is a bigger one. Bigger one. Alright, awesome. Alright, there we go. Alright, hold on, guy. I will let you go. Alright, look at that. Beautiful little fish. Let's get them tossed in our bucket. So, take a look. I've got 3 in there right now, so it seems like fishing without a bobber, any terminal tackle, is definitely working a whole lot better. And you might have to just practice a little, but once you get the hang of tossing these bait with no sinkers, no bobbers, nothing on there, you kind of get used to it, and it just becomes second nature. So here we were just waiting for a line to get tight again. Alright, so it's running. Alright, there we go. See? Pretty simple. And this is the same worm for the last maybe 2 fish or 3 fish. And I'm just gonna fix this worm a little and then just toss it right back in there, because if it's working, it's working. And it does appear like these fish are hungry. Oh, nope, missed them. Try it again. Ooh, oh my goodness. Look at this one, guys. Look at the size of this one. This one is huge. It's not my personal best, but this one's pretty big. And dang, this one inhaled it, so I'm gonna have to cut the hook, but let me palm it for you guys real quick. Okay, so that is how it looks like in my palm. So not the biggest, but this is a good size for these fish in here. Let me grab my gear. Alright, so my camera's still cooling down. Let's take a look at these fish. Look at this big one. Let me go ahead and get the release on this guy. So again, to swallow the hook, you're gonna cut it right up against the hook as close as you can. Alright, so let's get the release on this guy. So this water is pretty clear here. Okay. Alright, so there you go. See, swam off just fine. It's not belly up, so we know that this fish is just gonna be just fine. And like I was saying in my last video, if you cut the hook, don't worry about that hook being stuck inside the fish, because it will rust out. It will rust out. Now, I am gonna go maybe catch one more fish, hop inside the truck and cool off for a little bit, then come on back out. So it is hot. got another one. This one's a good one, guys. This is a good one. I was slowly reeling it in, and he came in and thumped it. Alright. Well, here he is. Let me toss him in this bucket. Alright, got another one. Alright, this one's nice. Big old full belly on this guy. They're hitting as soon as I drop the bait in the water, and it is taking more time to get rigged up than to catch these fish, because I'm catching about 2 fish per bait, and as soon as this bait hits the water, they're already on it. So it's again midday. It is super hot out here, and these fish are just hungry. They are absolutely hungry. And that's the good thing about coming out and fishing for these panfish, is that you can usually catch them any time of the day. Ooh. Look at this one. This is a beautiful one. Beautiful one. And that is the worm that I caught this guy on. This is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this color. Okay, let me put you in here. And then I'll let you go here in a little bit. Alright. These guys are hitting on this little piece of worm. I don't know if y'all can see that worm or not, but look how tiny this worm is. They are hitting this tiny little worm, and these colors are amazing. I've got 2 to 3 different kinds of panfish in here, and they are absolutely stunning as far as the different colors they come in. Really good variety of color. Oh, he was on there. Alright, so we don't need the biggest piece of worm on here to catch these guys like this. Just a little piece of worm will do the trick. And I'm still using the same piece of worm. I'm just going to toss this right back in there and see if we can pull another one out with this tiny piece of worm. He was on there. Oh, got him. These bigger ones are hitting the smallest piece of worm. Look at that. I'm gonna reuse this worm again. Okay. Let me see. And that is another reason why I like using braided line. This braided line can cast a mile, and that's just why I prefer to use braided line versus monofilament. Some people have been telling me to use fluorocarbon, but in my experiences for the type of fishing I do, I can't cast it as far as I can with this braided line. Look at this. Still catching them on this little piece of worm right here. So isn't that crazy? These fish in here must not get a lot of pressure, or they're just really hungry. Toss this worm in there. Ooh, this one is a good one. Look at that. Look at the colors on this one. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that color. My favorite panfish, probably. The color is just amazing. Now, I think it's time for a new bait. So, on that one piece of worm, we've caught maybe 6 or 7 on that one piece of worm. So, it just goes to show you that, I guess if you travel away from the crowds, it took me about an hour to get here, you can be catching them left and right. Just getting out of the crowds and tossing out a worm. Alright. Let's see how many more we can get before it's too hot and the weather runs me off. That is crazy. I am hung up on something. Look at that. I'm hung up on some fishing line. That's why you don't throw your fishing line back in the water. Go throw it away somewhere else. We're just gonna leave it right here beside my backpack, and then I'll toss it in the trash can. Ooh, big one. Look at this one fight. Oh man, this could be my personal best, guys. It's really close to my personal best. Look at the size of this one. This one is huge. Take a look at that. Alright. Alright. Let me see if I could do this better. Alright. Look at the size of this one. That's so cool. That's so cool. Let me toss them in my little bait bucket. Alright guys, so we're gonna change the locations. There are people trying to get back into this boat ramp right here, so I'm gonna let all these fish go. Here is all of our catch, and it does look like we have quite a few fish in here. Let's go ahead and get the release on them. I do want to get a couple of good pictures of some of these fish. Look at this one. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This one is pretty cool, about the size of my hand. Let's go ahead and put them back in here. Now, this GoPro is kind of... Alright guys, so we are inside the truck cooling off. It is dang right about 95 degrees outside. It is scorching day, but we are catching fish. I just need to cool off a little bit, but let me show you where we're gonna be fishing. We're gonna be fishing down in here, and hopefully we can pull out some panfish out of here, maybe some bass, and who knows, maybe some crappie in here. But this part of the lake is pretty shallow, maybe like a foot or two deep max, but it should hold some fish in here. And I just can't wait to cool off so I can hop out and cast a line in there and see if we can pull any good fish out here. So I do see like some movement on top of the water, so I do know that there is fish in here. It is pretty calm on this side of the lake, and once I get cooled off, I'll hop on out and give it a couple of tries and see if there's any fish on this side of the lake. Now, I do want to show you guys the worms once I hop out. Tell you what's going on with the worms, because it is scorching today. Alright guys, so this looks so good right here, and I'll bet you there are probably some huge ones hiding right down in here, but we'll have to give it a try. And what I was telling you guys about the worms earlier is, take a look at them. I've had these worms hidden underneath my backpack, and it's so hot outside today that even with these worms in the shade, they are dying. I'm gonna use all these worms right here and see if I can catch anything out here. So I probably gotta let this camera cool off because it is so hot out here that my camera is turning off. And let's go ahead and get rigged up and see if we can pull any fish out of here right here. Alright guys, let's see if there's any fish in here. We're gonna go weightless right now. See if we can pull any fish out. Alright, so maybe just have to flip it in there. Flip it in here and see what happens. I mean, I don't want to use a sink or float, but I'll use a float if I have to. Oh my goodness! Did you all see that? Oh my goodness. Oh, that scared the shit out of me, guys. That was a giant carp. If I knew they had giant carp in here, I would have brought some corn. Oh my goodness. That one was huge. Holy cow. Why you scare me like that? Oh. Oh. I had one. Oh, I still got him. I still got him. I knew I had one. Take a look. Look at this, guys. There are fish over here. Now we can get fishing. So there is definitely fish over here. It's hot. Let's see if we can catch another one. Alright guys, so I've been fishing this part of the water for about a good 30 minutes, and I would like to say that I noticed as soon as my worms started dying, I did not catch any fish. So if you're planning on using worms and it's a really hot day, make sure to keep them cool, because as soon as they're dead, the fishing is no longer active. Everything turns off like a light switch. So I'm gonna call it a day. From this location, I've only caught one fish. Really awesome location, look at this, but only one fish. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this one fish out of here and released. And I'm not gonna put the GoPro in the water this time because it is just one fish, but there you go. We are just gonna toss them back in the water like so. All right, and then that's gonna do it this time for Garage Outdoors on Garage Matters. I think I will fly the drone around this lake just to show you guys how beautiful this lake is from us. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and join us next time on Garage Matters.